another guard build with no defense? This build's a defensive liability. Please bring this to the park so I can cook y'all.
I post one small guard build and y'all forget how to act. It's time I remind y'all who you're speaking to. This 6'6" Demigod ISO build has a 92 ball handling rating, which gets you all the best dribble moves in the entire game, an 89 driving dunk and 78 vertical, which allows you to get contact dunks, an 85 3-point rating, which gets you limitless range and all the best jump shots in the entire game, and on top of all that gets an 86 steal and 85 perimeter defense, so you can be your very own lockdown defender. And that's before we capbreaker our 3 to an 89 for silver limitless range, capbreaker our steal to a 91 for gold glove, and use our max +1 badge on lightning launch to get Hall of Fame lightning launch on a 6'6" build. At some point y'all are gonna realize I know what I'm talking about. What's up, Simply Squad? It's your boy No Defense Grinding, and I need y'all to drop a like right now, because if this video gets 1,000 likes, tomorrow I will drop the best lockdown defender builds in the entire game. I've been giving y'all so many overpowered ISO builds that it's only fair I give you a build that can stop them too. Subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss out on that, and even if you think you're sub, do me a favor and double check to make sure, because trust me, you don't want to miss out. Now let's get into this 6'6" ISO build. Alright y'all, first, a lot of people have been asking me what my day 1 build is gonna be. I'm gonna start with my 6'3" Ja Morant build, because day 1 I'm gonna be streaming for literally 8 hours straight, going for the highest threes win streak in the brand new 2K17 Flyers park with my boy. So I want a small, fast build that can get contact dunks and spark threes from deep with gold limitless range, so I'm gonna go my Ja Morant build first. And then after that, I'm gonna grind 2s with either my 6'8" LeBron-like build that has so much defense that I literally have the choice between getting Legend Challenger or Legend Glove, or I'm gonna make this 6'6" build right here. And trust me, that decision has been keeping me up at night. It is actually a really hard choice to make, and I'm gonna show y'all exactly why. So the build is obviously 6'6", minimum weight 180 pounds, and the wingspan is a massive 6'10". The reason we're going 6'10" wingspan is because we want silver limitless range, but at the same time we want a long wingspan because we're going a ton of defense on this build, so we want to take advantage of that by being able to get every lane steal possible. The first thing we're gonna upgrade is our 3-point to an 89 to unlock silver limitless range. From what I've heard, you're not even gonna need limitless range to be able to shoot from deep, but if you have limitless range, you're gonna be able to green like you're on the 3-point line when you're 5 to 10 feet out. So yeah, I need that advantage, especially because I'm probably gonna be ISOing on this build. And of course, if you want, you do have the option to use your max +1 badge on limitless range to get it gold, but if I were you, I would save it for something else. We're gonna get there, don't worry about it. The next thing we're gonna upgrade is our perimeter defense to an 85 and our steal to an 85. I had the option here to go 91 steal and 85 perimeter defense and then sacrifice other places, but I realized all I really want on this build is gold glove. I think Hall of Fame glove would simply just be overkill, especially considering how overpowered gold glove was this year, and then from the gameplay clips we saw from Community Day where the My Team players had gold glove and they were just ripping the ball off of every point guard imaginable, it seems to be just as overpowered. So instead, I decided to up my steal to an 86, and then once I get my first 5 cap breakers, that will be put on my steal to get gold glove on a 6'6" ISO build. It's already looking like 2K24 all over again, isn't it? The next thing I upgraded was my ball handle to a 93, but then I realized, why am I going 93? Would it be fun to start the game with gold ankle breaker? Sure, but I'm willing to bet by the time I get my first cap breaker, I won't even have ankle breaker on gold yet. So instead of using a super expensive attribute point to get a 93 ball handle, I decided to go 92, which gets us all the best dribble moves in the game for 6'6" builds. And then the actual first cap breaker I earn will be used to make this a 93 to get gold ankle breaker, and then my next 5 will go onto my steal to get gold glove. And now for the part I love the most about this build. Speed with ball is tied to how fast you speed boost in NBA 2K25. So no matter what, I was going to max out my speed with ball. So imagine my surprise when I max out my speed with ball and I get gold lightning launch on a 6'6" ISO build. It's literally just like the 6'6" demigods in 2K24, but even better, because once we get this badge to gold in game, we're gonna use the max +1 we get from the season pass, which I'm not gonna lie, I will be buying, so I will have it on day 1, to get Hall of Fame lightning launch on a 6'6" ISO build. Yes, I know I keep saying 6'6" ISO build, but I'm trying to hammer it into y'all's heads that you are gonna be a tall speed boosting guard with a Hall of of Fame badge that only small guards should get. 100% only 6'4" and under should be able to have Hall of Fame speed boosting badges, but this year we're gonna have a 6'6" build with Hall of Fame lightning launch. I hope you can hear how excited I am about this build, bro. It is going to be insane. And then to round out the defense on the build, I decided to go with 60 interior defense and a 74 block, which of course gives us bronze paint patroller, which is basically anchor this year, and high flying denier, which is basically chase down artist. Y'all know this to be true in every 2K we've ever played. If you get chase down artist on any level, you actually unlock the chase down animations where your player just flies on a fast break, catches up to the ball handler, and swats it out of the park. Also, having no block on a tall build has always felt bad in every 2K. I remember I made a 2K24 build, and having no block really hurt me when people actually got past me, because it feels like once they get past you, they're gonna score. There's nothing you can do about it. It just feels bad. So having block and having chase down feels really good to me, knowing that our build is super all around and can basically do it all. And then of course we have an 89 driving dunk and a 78 vertical, which not only gives us posterizer but also gives us both pro contact dunk packages for our build. If you're wondering what it would take to get elite dunk packages, it would be a 96 driving dunk and an 82 vertical, which just isn't worth it for this build. We want to be an all-around menace, not just super good at finishing and have to sacrifice in other areas. Now we need to talk about the mistake I made when making this build. Obviously we know now that agility is tied to your lateral quickness, so there's no point in having a ton of defense if your agility isn't high. It's basically like training for a marathon for 6 months and then on the day of eating 6 cheeseburgers before you're about to run. You're basically sabotaging yourself. So the first thing I'm gonna do when I hop on NBA 2K25 and I'm actually making this 6'6" build is I am 100% lowering my speed, which only affects how fast you run on fast breaks and how fast you run going for like lane steals. It literally only affects how fast you run without the ball once your agility, aka acceleration, runs out. So I'm gonna lower that to around an 80, and then I'm going to upgrade my agility as much as I can, as well as maybe put an extra attribute into steal if it allows it, so I don't have to use as many cap breakers to get to 91 steal. So yeah, y'all, make sure to write that down if you're gonna go this build or you're gonna use this build as a template. Just write down or keep a mental note that you want to lower your speed a little bit because it's not as important as agility when you have defense on a build. On my small guard, of course, I'm gonna go maxed out speed and barely any agility because he has no defense, but on this build we invested in defense, so we need to make the most out of it. Now let's recap this build. You have an 89 3-point rating, which of course gives you silver limitless range, but also, and more importantly, is going to give you access to every good jump shot in the entire game. So basically, if T-Mac is meta, it was around an 87 this year, you have an 89. If Ben Shepherd's meta, it was around like 85, you have an 89. If JT Thor's meta, you can get that. If Kobe Bryant's meta, it was around an 88, you can get that. Whatever the best jump shot is, this 6'6" build can get it, so you can mess around and find one that you like. You have a 92 ball handle, which gives you pretty much every badge on gold except for ankle breaker. You're going to use one cap breaker, more specifically your first cap breaker on ball handle, so you can get ankle breaker. You have an 86 speed with ball, which gives you gold lightning launch off rip. You can just unlock that right away, which is amazing. And then by the time you get a gold, even if you don't pay for the season pass, you're most likely going to earn your max +1 in the season pass, so you're going to max +1 that badge for Hall of Fame lightning launch, and then all of a sudden your build is going to be moving a million times faster. And then you have a 70 pass accuracy, which, considering this build is meant for the 1s, 2s, and 3s, is more than enough to make accurate fast passes. Even if you play 5s, which I will be playing 5s with this build, you will be perfectly fine unless you're playing competitive pro-am, which 99.9% of y'all are not. But again, just use this build as a template. I'm trying to show y'all what you can do in this builder, and you could fix it however you like. Maybe you don't need as much perimeter defense and you'd rather have pass accuracy because it makes you feel comfortable. That is perfectly fine, bro. It is your build. It is not my build. It's not Billy's build. It's your build. Do whatever makes you comfortable. You have an 86 steal and 85 perimeter defense, not only just solid attributes in the builder so you can guard everyone. In the 86 steal, which might be actually 87 steal whenever you lower your speed and raise your agility and then raise your speed by 1, can be cap breaker to 91 for gold glove. You have a 60 interior defense and a 74 block. It's going to help a lot with chase down bronze and paint patroller for helping your center stop people in the paint. You got to keep in mind you are 6'6", so you are a pretty tall build. You're going to be able to get really good contests in the paint. And then finally, you have a speed that's actually going to go down to 80, but your agility is probably going to be around 85 to 86 if I had to guess. At the lowest, just in case it costs more, I don't really remember, it would probably be around an 84, which is better than what we have now. And then you have the 89 driving dunk and vertical of 78, just so you get contact dunks and be able to use the dunk meter anytime you drive into the paint. And finally, if you make this build, your build name is a two-way inside out Creator. Again, not the worst build name, not the best build name. I really haven't been a fan of any of the build names I've seen, but at the same time, I've never been one to care about the build names either. If I were to make one adjustment to this build name, it would at least be Shot Creator instead of just Creator, because like, what am I creating? Two-way inside out ISO Creator. Am I creating ISO? Steve's not gonna like that one, bro. Anyways, y'all, that's pretty much it. Let me know what y'all think about the build, and please, in the comments, if you made it to the end, let me know if I should go 6'6" first or 6'8" first. What do y'all want to see? Y'all know I can make either of them work, bro. I do this every year. It's what I do. It's what I'm good at. Without this, I'd be putting your fries in the bag, all right? So let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all want to see. Thank y'all so much for watching. I love you all, and as always, keep grinding.
Ballin', 2K we never be falling. Rachel she never be calling. Still hitting shots while they steady be taunting. Ballin', 2K we never be falling. Rachel she never be calling. Still hitting shots while they steady be ballin'.